Donald Trump joining his newly named vice president pick, Ohio Senator JD Vance, who the campaign says embodies a forgotten man and woman. Vance spoke with Sean Hannity about his history in the past with President Trump.
I was certainly skeptical of Donald Trump in 2016, but President Trump was a great president, and he changed my mind. I think he changed the minds of a lot of Americans because, again, he delivered that peace and prosperity. President Trump did a really good job, and I actually think it's a good thing when you see somebody, you were wrong about him, you ought to admit the mistake and admit that you were wrong. I have the vision and the agenda aligned with President Trump to make the American worker better off, to bring peace to the world, and to actually advance an agenda that's good for American citizens.
And that was the one-on-one with Sean Hannity last night. Day 2 of the RNC kicks off later today. The theme was Make America Safe Once Again. A person who knew that theme and signed off on it on some level, I imagine, is Eric Trump. Eric, you guys have been through some real tough times over the last 2 or 3 days, but most people here are really understanding and firmly in your corner. What changed for you after Saturday?
Listen, you watch your father almost get assassinated, right, on live TV. I mean, think about if that bullet was an inch over and what that, I mean, the entire world would have seen that image forever.
Where were you?
Think of the stain that would have been. I was sitting on the couch with my children and with Laura when that happened, and it was horrible. And then you have a night like last night, right? You walk into the convention and you see this love and, you know, listen to the words of that song, you know, thank your lucky stars, you know, God bless the USA, right? I mean, the entire country is behind him. The love in that room is incredible. The love for Donald Trump is amazing. You know, all the speeches last night, they were all looking at him. They were thankful for him. You know, they were chanting, fight, 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 USA, USA. I mean, the entire night. The love in this country is tremendous, and they love the man, and I love the man. And the unthinkable almost happened, and it would have been the greatest stain on America. It can't happen, and we got to, and it has. There's no question it's changed the tone, and even if you look at my father's face as he's coming out right now,
I've never seen him look that way, Eric.
Lawrence, it's you know, maybe lucky to be alive and realizing that, you know, listen, there was divine intervention. I'm not a mushy guy. There was divine intervention. I mean, it's 130 yards. Yeah. That's not a long shot with a rifle, right? That's a chip shot with a rifle, and there was absolutely divine intervention. Somebody was looking down, and I felt that for the last 8 years. I felt that somebody's had, you know, a hand on my father and has guided him, because in dark moments and unthinkable moments, you know, he's been protected, and sure. I mean that sincerely.
Eric, how has it changed your dad?
I think it changes perspective. You know, you have a bullet an inch away from, you know, the ultimate. I think it changes your perspective of how fragile life can be, and, you know, the meaning of life and the meaning of this and the meaning of what he's fighting for. Listen, guys, he's a billionaire. He's got 500 friends that, you know, have done extremely well for themselves, and guess what they're doing? They're out there playing golf, flying around on private planes, living a great life. Right. They're not getting attacked by attorney generals. They're not getting attacked by district attorneys. They're not getting shot at every single day, right? They're, you know, goofing off and having a good life, and yet he gets nothing out of this. Yet he goes out and he fights and fights and fights every single day because he loves America and he sees it going to hell.
Right. Your dad told Michael Goodwin of the New York Post when he was flying here to Milwaukee that what saved his life was he looked at a panel, a graphic, that showed migration in the United States. And had he not looked, he would be dead. But he looked for just a split second, and that's what saved his life.
You know, it's really strange. He normally puts that in at the end of the speech, right? He turns around. He goes, let's do immigration. Let's do immigration right now.
It was off script.
It was totally off script. And he goes like this. He turns his head, and that's right when the bullet flew right by his ear.
And you said divine intervention. I know Ivanka tweeted out that it was 2 years to the day before that your mother passed away, and she was looking over him.
No question she was looking over him. And again, I'm not a mushy guy, but if you looked up at the flag, there's a flag being held between two tower cranes, and it flipped over right before that in the shape of an angel. And again, guys, I
never noticed that.
It was one of the most. It wasn't like
pop that picture up.
Do we have that picture?
It was truly incredible, and, you know, somebody's watching down. My father's done an unbelievable job for this nation. He's the best fighter I've ever seen. I love the man to death.
Eric, I got to just ask you real quick before we move on, though, because you're a trained marksman. Yeah. When you get some of the developments today, that 30 minutes. You sit on the shooter for 30 minutes and you didn't do anything. They didn't whisk him away. I know you're very close to some of the members of the Secret Service. Some of them were on your detail as well. Yeah. What is your response to?
So let me break this down. The people on that stage are the best of the best, and they are phenomenal people. One of the girl on the stage was with me for 3 years, and I'm telling you, she would take a bullet for him in a heartbeat, or me, or anybody else. some of the truly greatest people you'll ever meet. His lead agent, who was on that stage, phenomenal. I can only imagine how furious they are that there was a breach on the perimeter, right? They're watching people's hands. They're watching for knives. They're watching to make sure somebody doesn't run up on that stage. They can't pay attention to something, 130 yards away. That said, as a competitive shooter, I mean, 130 yards is a chip shot. It's something that my son could do every single time, and he's 6 years old. And with modern rifles, it's a chip shot. It should never have been allowed to happen. And I can only imagine how furious the people on that stage are. They're professionals, so they'll never see it. It should have never been allowed to happen. Yeah. It's insane in the modern world.
So I know the firefighter that lost his life, he's protecting his 2 kids. The last thing he says is get down, and then he gets a bullet from this guy. And when you find out that they spot him 30 minutes ago, that the cop confronted him minutes before he shot, how close is the family following this investigation?
Yeah, well, listen, incredibly. I mean, you see the vapor trail go by my father's ear. I mean, God knows where that bullet ended up going. You have that incredible picture that's going to live in the archives forever. But we've raised I mean, it's unthinkable that somebody lost their life. We've raised a tremendous amount of money. We set up a GoFundMe page. I think we're well over $5 million at this point. I just posted it, so if anybody's watching, please help that family. But it's unthinkable, and that guy apparently was incredible. Obviously, volunteer firefighter, jumped on his daughter, from what I understand, and we should not have this. It's a political rally where people are waving the American flag, and they're patriotic, and they love the United States, and they love Donald Trump, and based on some level of incompetence that happened somewhere.
There's a vapor trail right there.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about the breaking news, and that is, at long last, we finally know who your dad's running mate's going to be this time.
Yeah.
I know you haven't been out and about so far, but the Democrats this morning have unveiled 16 billboards and 1 mobile billboard attacking the Trump-Vance ticket on abortion and on tax breaks for billionaires, in their words. And they're referring to it as the Trump-Vance Project 2025 project.
I can only imagine what Kamala's thinking this morning, because you have a guy who's brilliant, Yale Law School, Marine, incredibly successful business guy, somebody who's gone into politics and kind of taken it by storm, and a guy who will go into oncoming fire. And there's almost a bad pun to use this morning, but every single time he'll go on every single network, no matter how hostile they are, and just prosecute the case. And what's really interesting to see is the chemistry between my father and Vance. They like being around each other. They work good together. You feel a natural warmth between the two. And I think when you're sitting in the White House together, that's incredibly important.
Were you pushing for one of them? Because we know Don Jr. likes him a lot.
Listen, I like him. At the same time, I like the other people that were being considered, and I like a lot of the people that were being considered before that. And I always tell my father, go with your gut. My opinion doesn't necessarily matter. And listen, Vance would be my age. We're very close in age, and he'd definitely be my age demographic, and a guy I could be great friends with and everything else. But you have to have that chemistry with people. All the people that made the finalists were incredibly competent people. They could do a great job, but you've got to have that warmth. You've got to have that connection. You've got to be willing to stand next to that person every single day in the trenches for a long period of time. And, he's going to be excellent. Watch, he's going to be excellent.
Here's what he said last night to Sean about his background.
Can't run on the issue of, is the world more peaceful than it was 4 years ago? Remember when Donald Trump left office, you had real growing peace movements all over the world. The Abraham Accords that showed a real promise of uniting the Israelis with some of the Sunni Arab states. There was no war in Europe. Asia looked like it was under pretty good control. And 3 years later, it seems like we have a conflict in every corner of the world, and Americans are poorer, Sean. You know a little about my background. I grew up in a poor family. I remember when my grandmother, who raised me, she used to negotiate with the Meals on Wheels people to give her additional food so that she could feed me. How does a family like that deal with Joe Biden's grocery price inflation? How does a family like that deal with gasoline and energy price inflation? It's gotten more expensive just to live a good life in this country. Donald Trump and I want to make that better, and we have policies to make it better. Democrats have lies and distortions, and again, I don't think the American people are going to reward that.
So I guess, Eric, the big question is, what do you think was, talk to your dad, liked them all. What do you think was the final thing that he heard that really said, this is why I'm going to select this guy?
Again, I think great energy. And I mean that sincerely. When you see him go on to CNN, he's getting ruthlessly attacked by 7 people, and he's just kind of dismantling them. I certainly that, the policies, and he's been just fantastic. And he does have an amazing story to tell, right, from all sides. Great in business, became very kind of successful, great in the political world, military background. I mean, this is somebody who can carry the torch for a very long time.
Yeah, and that's his story, not his parents' story.
That's right.
This is actually his story. He's lived the American dream.
That's right.
Nikki Haley, she's going to speak tonight.
Yeah.
I know she's giving your dad her delegates. Have you talked to her, and what message does she need to convey tonight?
I haven't talked to her. I think it's going to be a great message. I think it's going to be a warm message. It's really nice to see. I mean, never have I seen a party coalesce the way it has. And it started before the shooting, but really after the shooting, it just really popped together. It started 6 months ago when everybody came together. There's a couple fringe people, right? And, people that were still on the outside. Obviously, politics is brutal, but it's also brutal on the other side, right? You had Kamala Harris, they used to call Joe Biden a racist and everything, right? It happens on both sides. It's just the nature, unfortunately, of the game. I wish it didn't happen, but it does. And
your dad describes it as an MMA fight, that you beat the hell out of each other and then you hug it out at the end of the match, right?
Totally, absolutely.
Yeah, the fact that she's speaking today, I mean, do you see the next step that may be playing a role in if the president should win?
I don't know. I leave that to him. I don't make those decisions. I don't want to make those decisions. But at the end of the day, I think it's beautiful that she's speaking. I think it's great for the party. I think it's great for America. I think it's great to have a lot of voices up there. I think it's great to have a lot of diverse voices up there.
So let me ask you this. Your sister, Ivanka, went and helped at the White House before.
Yeah.
You made it clear, I'm going to run the company.
Yeah.
You're so involved. You understand policy so deeply. Will you join the president? If your dad asks you, will you join?
If you asked me, I'd do anything for him. I mean, I'd walk over broken glass for the man if he asked me to join. At the end of the day, listen, I love real estate. I love our company. We have the best hotels in the world. We have the best golf course.
But they're trying to destroy you.
They have. And guess what, Brian? They failed. They failed. We're a better company than we've ever been right now. We've built a war chest. We have some of the best properties in the world. We're developing some of the best properties in the world. We're an unbelievable company. And yes, they have tried to destroy us. They've tried to bankrupt him. They've tried to destroy him. They've tried to destroy our family. They've tried to tear us apart. And here I am 8 years later, because I sat on this very couch with you guys in 2016. Here I am 8 years later, and we're still fighting the fight, and we're fighting this fight from a stronger position than we've ever fought it from before. So to all of them who have spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to take down this family and spent their entire lives, spent almost a decade trying to get us, congratulations, you have failed. You haven't succeeded. And I really believe he's going to be the 47th president of the United States. And let me finish with this. Not only will he be the 47th president, but he wrote a great book, right? He wrote two, The Art of the Deal, The Art of the Comeback. It will be the greatest comeback in American political history, maybe political history in general, but it will be the greatest comeback. And I think in a certain way, he almost foreshadowed this period of his life when he wrote that book 25 years ago.
Well, and you look at the polls, and the comeback is actually a thing according to, the metrics that they use to figure out. And so it's great to, have you point it all into perspective.
And today they have Virginia, Minnesota, New Hampshire, Wisconsin, all moving in a direction. How much would it mean to him? Not only a victory, but a dominant Reagan-like victory. Is that a possibility?
Isn't that the ultimate vindication?
Yeah.
Isn't that at the end of the day, where you see states that have never really traditionally been red turn red? I think to him it would be, the ultimate vindication of, the amount of arrows and the amount of bullets that he's taken, throughout the whole step to have some of those states come over. I mean, he wants the best for America.
Isn't that amazing? They impeached him.
Possibility.
They impeached him. They arrested him. They shot him. And he's still standing.
And the easiest deal that I could ever make, the easiest negotiation I could ever make, Dad, you want this to all go away?
Yeah.
All that?
Just don't run.
Guess what? Give me about 5 minutes. I'll go make a deal with every single one. Guess what? He'll drop out of the race.
Yeah.
You guys just set aside. It'd be the easiest deal, and he would never do it, not in a million years, because he's determined and he loves this country, guys. He absolutely loves this country. There's no one that bleeds red, white, and blue like Donald Trump. And, unfortunately, 48 hours ago, he was literally bleeding one of those colors.
And you put him over the top when Florida put the delegates over the top.
That was amazing.
That was great.
Air Trump, folks.
So great.
I don't think I've ever seen you so fired up. You're normally the calm one. This
I have my moments, Lawrence.
We have crossed the Rubicon.
You said you were angry. You said when you saw him get shot, you were angry.
I was angry. It was actually, I think, worse than anger. I think it was rage. It was rage that could possibly happen in America. It was rage for this country. It was rage that didn't quite know what was happening to him, that somebody wanted to try and expunge his life when all he's tried to do is give this country his entire life. I mean, frankly, at this point, I think we all have, right? You know how hard I've worked. You know how hard the entire family's worked for this, and I have gotten absolutely nothing out of it. And we don't want anything out of it, but it's Yeah, it was a combination of hurt and certainly rage, and thank God he's okay. I knew he was okay when he called me from the hospital, and he made this little funny, quasi inappropriate joke, and but he was somber, and I go, okay, the father I know.
Do you want to tell us? Can you tell us what that was?
Yeah, we'll leave that. But and then the Holyfield jokes started coming out almost.
All right, Eric, thank you very much.
Thanks,
thank you very much.
Good to see you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.